As I'm sure most of you know by now, a large VTuber company known as Nijisanji EN has a poor reputation in the Western audience, which is ironic given that its English branch was made to appeal to the Western audience in the first place. After all, it'd be silly for a large corporation like Nijisanji to not want to tap into a market that's primed and ready to accept waves of new anime women and men when the anime scene is more mainstream here nowadays. But of course, it all went downhill for Nijisanji after questionable and sudden event cancellations left fans disappointed, and then controversial terminations with equally eyebrow-raising responses by the company only sealed the deal. Since then, there's a decent percentage of people who only wish for the company's downfall, who are a mix of former fans who have now been jaded or burned, and those that always disliked the company in the first place for whatever reason. To some of these individuals, the target of their ire is directed at both the company itself and specific individuals who speak out in the controversial Black Screen stream on February 12, 2024, where 3 members, Elira Pandora, Vox Akuma, and Ike Eveland, had spoke about their own personal opinions about why nothing toxic had happened leading to Selen's termination, and that they were more worried about the information Selen had on certain individuals without their prior knowledge. Of these 3 individuals, Elira and Vox have made the most scrutiny on them for their, particular opinions and speculations. I have made a video on this controversy shortly after it happened, and my personal opinion of Niji EN, the company, since this incident, has mostly been unfavorable. But otherwise, I just kinda leave them alone and just watch from the sidelines. However, I speak about them today once more because of a simple and slightly different reason. Some of these Niji EN haters are so spiteful that they unfortunately use a particular indie VTuber as their, quote, symbol of hatred, despite this very VTuber saying in various statements and clips that they simply want to move on and to only bring happiness and fun times. One such spiteful person is the artist named Kakino77 on Twitter. On around June 13th or 14th, 2024, Kakino made this animation of the indie VTuber Dokibird, based on the meme Shikanoko Noko Noko Koshitan-tan, which is from the wacky anime My Dear Friend Nokotan. Here you can see their animation depicts a dancing happy Dokibird with the #1 trophy in her hands, and across from her is a disheveled and haggard looking Elira Pandora. On a second repeat of this animation, Elira is then accompanied by Vox Akuma, who has racist stereotypes and caricatures attributed to him along with his Billy Billy sign. Hours after this animation had reached over 15,000 likes, Dokibird released a statement re-emphasizing that she only wants to focus on the successes and fun times, and it is allegedly in response to this distasteful animation that had blown up that day. Hi everyone, my name is Saphera Noma, but you can call me Saf. Today, we'll be talking about the situation with this artist and why I personally think Dokibird should be left alone from people's hate campaigns against Nijisanji. This is just a friendly reminder to not harass anyone mentioned in this video. By the time this video comes out, this situation is already, for the most part, resolved, and this is simply just a retelling of the scenario as it played out, with my commentary added on, of course. So, let us begin. It all started with the teaser from Kakino, where he showed his repeating animation of Dokibird dancing with the trophy, with the Shikanoko Noko Noko Koshitan-tan song in the background. On its own, this is a relatively harmless and pretty cool even, because it's going off that silly deer anime meme that took people by storm for a brief period of time. Then a few days later, on June 13th, he had this to say regarding the progress of the animation, along with an image of what it'll include. I really want to finish this already. I need to close this chapter and move on. Seems like a silly post, but while doing it, I realized it's been a very painful couple of months. This is my way to let my feelings be manifested. It seems that within a few hours after this post, Kakino finished the animation and published it. It initially got a lot of likes and praise from fellow Nijisanji EN criticizers. To these people, this is simply a harmless meme, a light jab at people they already dislike and secretly or openly wish for their downfall for the hurtful things they've said about an ex-coworker. Unfortunately though, this joke is in poor taste, and uses a VTuber who has openly expressed that they do not want their image used in any sort of hateful campaign. One reply from someone on the late evening of June 13th, 2024 had this to say, I was excited about that Doki animation, but I don't want to retweet the finished version with that added detail. And then Kakino, seeing this and the growing backlash from people who found this quote joke distasteful, quote retweeted this and had this additional statement to make. I'm also planning to make a wholesome version with mint or a dragoon maybe? There is a reason I didn't tag anyone. I know this animation is very poor taste, but I needed to get it out of my system. I feel I was forced to do it in a way IDK. And here you can see that Kakino acknowledges themselves that their art using Dokibird's image was in very poor taste, and that everything he had done was purely out of selfish intent to vent his frustrations about Nijisanji En due to recent circumstances and growing disappointment in a company that, presumably, he had looked up to in the past like many others had, including myself. And in my opinion, I can sympathize because I understand that vent art is a valid way to express one's feelings for an artist. However, this behavior is both distasteful when it uses another person's image as a way to justify their dislike for individuals when that individual has expressed numerous times to not do that. And hello? You were forced to do it? Who said that? No one had tied you down with a gun pointed to your head telling you that you had to finish that animation the way you did or else your prized waifu body pillow collection would go up in flames. Like, sir, you were absolutely not forced to do this. You had every single fiber in your being capable of simply stopping and not posting the finished product, especially once you got some initial criticism that it seemed problematic. Speaking of problematic, the way this artist vented their frustrations involved racism and possibly even darker insinuations according to some individuals. To clarify about the racism, it's mostly evident on Vox. It starts with his Billy sign, making fun of his time branching out towards his Chinese audience on the platform, Billy, which is basically like Chinese YouTube. This alone can seem inoffensive, but when you combine it with his skinny, malnourished body, the buck teeth, and conical straw hat, which is often attributed to the manual laborers or farm-working Chinese people, this all seems like a targeted attack using racial Chinese stereotypes. And, fun fact, Dokibird is Chinese. This is definitely not a good idea to use racial stereotypes that can offend the very person you're trying to glorify. And in general, racism is bad, regardless of intention, okay? As for even possible darker insinuations, some people have said Alira looks like a victim of either physical violence with a purplish bruise near her eye, or even SA. To me, personally, I just want to believe she's just tired with heavy-set sleepy eye bags and drool because I'd be appalled if it was the former allegations. But considering racism was used here, well, it can be anything, honestly. But regardless, this animation was out on Twitter for at least 10 hours, garnering attention from all across the community. Later the same day, Doki would release the statement that, to me, at the time, came out of seemingly nowhere since I was originally unaware of this animation's existence. I'll only make this statement once since I've been busy almost every day behind the scenes, but let's focus on the successes and fun times together. We already accomplished so much after only a few months, and I couldn't have done it without my dragoons supporting me. There's many more happy announcements and projects coming too. The rest of the year for us is fully booked, and I can't wait for all of you to see what we have in store. I've been working hard on moving forward and trying to become the best version of me as a content creator. I'm happy to be surrounded by all my friends and wonderful talented creators and staff that help motivate me. Working and creating content is what makes me happy because I want to work hard to put a smile on your face. We survived one of our darkest moments together, and I just want to focus on being happy. I'm not here to be used to spread negativity because that's the opposite of what my streams and projects are. I'll always try to put a smile and make you guys laugh because the world always needs more happiness and laughter. So let's not focus on the past and look forward to the future and enjoy our bright new path together by creating more memories and unforgettable moments. And Dokibird has every right to say this statement, as it is true that she's a bit of a workaholic and has done many ambitious and large projects in her brief time since resuming her work as an indie. It's truly admirable, and she has an amazing creative and supportive community behind her and deserves only the best going forward. So it is truly harrowing to realize that a vile animation was made using her image to once again satisfy some people's desires to essentially just shit on Nijisanji En and two individuals who were the most vocal during the termination fiasco. Many people made the connection that the statement was made in response to Kikino's animation that had, again, over 15,000 likes. It definitely made the rounds and definitely made it onto Doki's feed regardless of being tagged or not, simply by the algorithm. The backlash had intensified after this statement was released, with many in the replies and quote retweets demanding Kikino remove it, that if Doki really was his Oshi, he'd know better than to disobey her wishes and continue to use her as a symbol of hate for something she wanted to move on from. Eventually, he did delete it later that evening and re-uploaded a new version with Dokibird and Mint Phantom. This one he did tag with Dokibird and Mint's fanart tag. He also said this a few minutes later. "Sorry I slipped this morning and uploaded a corrupted file. I hope it didn't cause too much trouble. The final animation is up now. Please enjoy." And to dismiss everything he's done as an "oops, it was a corrupted file" is by far laughably idiotic. I guarantee you that this person would not have deleted the original file if it weren't for Doki speaking up. It is baffling since he acknowledges it was originally done in poor taste, yet he felt compelled to keep going because he was, again, quote, forced to do it. This just reeks of "oops, I got caught and the person I drew this for was unhappy, so I have to cover my bum and fix it." This statement is equally in poor taste, devoid of good humor, and the backlash continued. About a day later, a few tweets that were in regards to his original older animation were deleted and his replies became closed to only people he follows. On June 16th, he had this to say. "For the past few weeks, I went through a rough patch. I felt self-destructive and I wanted to see the world burn. The clip is gone and the person in question asked, allegedly, I wish to use such proficiency for better things. If I ever have the chance to apologize to her, I will." Which, in my opinion, is a so-so statement. On one hand, he acknowledges he did a lot of things in ill faith and that he wants to use his art talents for better things, which I personally think is good. It's sort of taking some responsibility, and it is true that his art skills should be on more productive things than spite. On the other hand, it also sounds like he had not reached out to apologize to Doki personally, and doesn't really quite sound truly remorseful, and more like I still feel bad I got caught, in my own personal opinion. But hey, life do be like that. For the most part, that's all. And to clarify and reiterate, I do think Kakino can take this as a learning experience and to use his skills in art and animation in more productive, healthier ways. Only time will tell, of course, but please do not harass this individual for their big blunder in the past. As long as he can learn and grow from this as a person, that is all anyone can ask for. In regards to Dokibird, I sincerely wish her nothing but the best and that people stop using her as a symbol of hate on a company she used to work for. She has stated numerous times she wants to move on, at least one time on stream.
My final note on all of this is, let's not harass or bully anybody. I already know how that felt. I want us to be adults and not make it high school. And I want to move on, focus on us, succeed, and be better. And the Lunar New Year is coming, and it's 2 new beginnings. And it's time to leave the past behind us and make new memories.
A few statements here in February, which is, I will be returning here soon as I would like to celebrate Lunar New Year with all of you. This holiday means a lot to me and my Chinese culture as someone that lived in China for a big portion of my life. It should be the start of happiness and new beginnings. Also, I received a lot of questions regarding my fan art policies. It's free reign as long as it's not used to spread hate and negativity. And of course, her most recent one in mid-June. It is understandable to still want to criticize Niji-sanji En. I get that. Niji En is by far the furthest thing from a good VTuber company in my opinion. It seems terribly corrupt, money-focused, and sincerely lacking in genuine care and growth in their talents compared to other corporations that are currently thriving in the Western market. However, criticizing a company does not need to involve an independent VTuber who wishes to distance herself from her dark and most likely traumatic past, especially when this VTuber has done many big things all by herself without any formal company backing. She has truly spread her wings once more and thrived with her dragoons. I truly think that we should all appreciate Doki for how far she's come in her journey, to what she continues to give us to this day, such as Wrestletober and her awesome new skin suit. And to simply look forward and to not focus so much on the past. People are more than their past. People can overcome it and rise anew like a phoenix from its ashes. And to me, I think Dokibird is doing a great job, and she's a beacon of hope for all who may find themselves leaving an unsavory situation with a corrupt, or at least a meh company, or even to regular old indies like myself, who see an amazing individual doing things that we can only dream of accomplishing, with a budget that I'm sure is mind-boggling and jaw-dropping. I hope people can do better by respecting her wishes, and may this be the last time anyone has ever have to use her image for hateful things. Oh, And someone had made a good version of the dancing meme after the original distasteful animation came out, depicting Doki Bird styling on her dragoons. Doki retweeted this version, which is very good. Link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Many thanks to my new members who support this channel and help me get one step closer to being a full-time content creator, including the Fancy Gremlins. If you want to join and get access to a green name and fancy badges and emotes, feel free to hit the join button too. Till next time, see you and keep it vibin'. Bye!